What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on how to climb the horrendous ladder that is League of Legends. Now, I just want to thank everyone who sent me some of the names ahead of this, just so I can use them for champion picks later on. And if you want to see any role specific videos, then do comment down below which ones you want to see, and remember to subscribe to see when they come out. Now, the first thing I just want to quickly get into is, I know a lot of you will be asking, who the hell is this guy trying to tell me how to climb? Now, just quick thing on me is I used to be a TCL coach, I used to be a Challenger Series coach, I won the Challenger Series, I won the Nordic League, I've been a UK coach, and I've coached from sort of amateur to semi-pro to professional level, and I've also coached a lot of solo queue on my way to coaching professional teams. Now, I racked up nearly over 1,000 hours of solo queue coaching, and the number one thing that I came across when I was solo queue coaching was, are you willing to put the effort in? Because I came across so many people that come to me and they're just like, right, I really want to improve, and then I'd send them away with basically tips, exercises to do on how to improve, and they just wouldn't be doing them. They'd basically go away, they'd basically use the tips in the regular games, yes, but they wouldn't be doing the exercises away from the games. Now, League of Legends climbing isn't just about playing as many ranked games as possible, it's about doing as much as you can away from the game as well, because this isn't a game where there's a miracle tip that all your high elo players are hiding away from you. This is a slow, gradual improvement game. Now, if you look at a lot of Challenger players, you will see on their history that they have been in bronze, they've been in silver, they've been in gold, they've climbed their way up slowly to get to that level. Now, if you want to do the same, you need to be willing to put that time and effort in as well. You can't just expect to improve overnight. Now, the first thing I want to get into is something all of you will have heard before, and all of you will just whinge at straight away, which is CS exercises. Now, I know a lot of you basically don't like doing them, and I know a lot of you think that it doesn't help that much, but even when I coach professional teams, I still made them sit there every morning and do CS exercises, just to show how important it is. Because if you look at every elo, when you're starting a bronze game, you never see someone in a bronze game getting LCS level CS. Now, even if you're not getting the kills in lane, even if you haven't got the mechanics of the champion to be able to pull off early kills, or it's a late game champion, just getting that average CS up will give you a massive advantage going into mid to late game. So whenever you get home from work or school or whatever it is you do, or you get up in the morning on a weekend, you should be doing your CS exercises straight away just to kind of warm yourself up and get yourself used to farming before you go into your first proper game. Just make sure you're farming at the level that you want to be farming at before you go into that first ranked game of the day. Now, the next thing I want to go over is replays, and I can't stress how important going over every game replay is. Now, when I worked with professional teams, I'd always make them go over their solo game replays, and I'd always make sure that we went over every scrim replay together as a team to point out what we did right and wrong. Now, one question I always get asked whenever I tell people to watch your replays is, what are they looking for? Now, if you watch your replays of your games and you instantly see something that you've done, and you'd instantly basically say, if you saw someone else do it, you'd be like, what are they doing? Why are they losing as a game because of that? Then you need to make sure you're cutting it out. Now, I see people who can identify their mistakes quite easily, but then at the same time they're not applying it. Now, you need to make sure that you're applying everything that you see as an issue straight away to your games. So say if you're a support and 5 out of your last 10 games you've been killed from one brush, like around the same time every game, why are you not warding it? Why have you not instantly basically taken the time out of your effort to buy an extra ward just to make sure that that isn't happening? Applying what you learn from your replays will make you basically see an instant improvement. Now, I know replays is a very hard topic for a lot of people to get over, just because there is a lot to look out for and there's a lot to spot. So if you want me to do a few videos on replays just so you can see what you're looking for, I can go over people's solo queues, I can do it at different elos, I can even go over LCS games and basically point out mistakes done by LCS teams, just to show you that everybody at every elo does make mistakes. You'll just see that it is a lot more common in your lower elo games than it is in your professional games. So again, just let me know down in the comments below if you do want to see that series, and also subscribe if you do want to see me do those as well, just so I know that you guys want to see that happen. Now, I'm just going to move on to champion picks, and once again I just want to thank everyone who sent me their summoner names so I can go over this with everyone. Now, I've got about 16 accounts that I'm going to quickly go through, going from bronze 1 all the way up to diamond 1, and you can see the massive trends that there is, going from low elo all the way up to high elo straight away. Now, I'll quickly get into the first account, which is the bronze 1 account, and then I'll go all the way up to the diamond 1 account. Now I am going to rush through these accounts because otherwise we'll be here all day. Now I apologise to anybody who thought I might go a bit more in depth on their account. If you do want me to have a look at your account and it is one of the accounts that has already been sent to me, I'll have a proper more in-depth look and I'll let you know a more in-depth kind of what I think on the account. So I'm going to rush through them and then I'll give a more overall opinion at the end, because this is a more overall for everyone rather than specifics for individuals. So Bronze 1, good win rate and his highest played, but only 16 games out of 200 plus. There's so many one game champs. Now Silver 4, now the highest played here only has a 43% win rate and it needs to improve. Silver 3, now again decent-ish win rates of the highest played, but you have played 82 champions in one season. That is ridiculous. Silver 3 again, now the highest played again, it's just not a good enough win rate. Now Silver 1, now the highest played is an okay win rate, but if the Kaiser was played more and more, this guy would see a lot of improvement, and there's still a lot of one game champs. Gold 2, now the highest played is getting a lot better, but the Lee Sin win rate is only 44%, and again there's so many champs. Gold 1, decent win rate on the highest played, but then the Yasuo win rate is just too low, and there's again just too many champs of that little amount of games. Gold 1 again, now again decent win rate on the top 2, and looks like there's a good role development, but too many games on one game champs. Platinum 4, now this guy I don't know how he's up here. The Nami games are great, but the Yumi games are just dragging him down, and again one game, two game champs. Platinum 4 again, now this guy would massively improve if he could improve his Kaiser, because the other win rates are good, and yes he's got a lot of champs again where it's down to 78, which is ridiculous. Platinum 2 again, decent win rates on the highest played, but people just need to cut out all these 1-2 game champs because it's stupid. Diamond 4, so higher elo now, and the win rates are getting better on the highest played, but again I'd say just too many 1 game, 2 game champs. Diamond 2, so we're getting to a proper higher elo now. Now the win rates are quite steady. This guy would just see a massive improvement if he improved his Elise. Diamond 2 again, now the win rates again are steady across the top ones, the highest played pretty good, and the amount of champs has dropped massively from the lower ones. Now the Diamond 1 guys, their win rates are very strong across the top few, and they've played very little champs. And again on this Diamond 1 guy, his win rate, he's got a one trick obviously with a like 64% win rate from 135 games, but again you can see he hasn't played that many champs. Now, the biggest trend that I noticed is that your lower elo players have a lot more like one game champs, or they're playing champs that they're not got the highest win rate on the most and stuff like that, whilst your higher elo they're only playing champs that they're winning on, and they're not picking as many one game champs. Yes, the lower diamond, high platinum players, yes there was a few one game champ people, but they're probably people where their win rates this season are suffering, whilst if they went back to their comforts they would do a lot better. Now whenever I look and talk to low elo players, I feel like there is a massive issue with sort of their identity, where they don't know what role they're really maining, they don't know what champs they're really playing, and one of the biggest issues I see in low elo is people that just pick counters. So your opponent picks Riven, so you pick Garen, even though you've only played like sort of 5 games on Garen ever. Now that might be great, but the issue is if that Riven's got sort of 200 games on, the amount of times that that Riven has played against Garen will not matter that it's a counter when you've only played 5 games. So if you're going into say Riven and you pick something that's bad against Riven, but you've had 200 games on that champion, you can still win that lane if you're better than your opponent. And even if you don't, you can play safe in that lane and you're more aware of what you to do in the mid to late game with your champion, because you know the champion. You should focus on having a champion pool where each champion is almost similar to each other in the playstyle, and you know the champion back to front. You know every little kind of trick, every kind of like wall jump you can do, every kind of trading values with every champion, and all your counters and good and bad matchups. And then if you really don't like a matchup, then you can basically pick someone else from your pool, but you make sure that you stick to a very strict pool. Now a lot of people then turn around to me and just say, oh, but it's still just playing kind of 2-3 champions all the time. And yes, it is. Yes, it's still being a one trick and playing one champion all the time. Yes, you might really enjoy that one champion, but you might not. So if you really want to play other stuff, rather than getting an extra 20 losses by doing loads of one game champ picks, go and play normals. Don't waste your ranked games by doing these one game champ picks when you can go play a game that won't affect your rank. So just make sure that when it comes to champion picks, you're picking something comfortable, you're picking something that you're winning on, you're aiming for a 55% or above win rate, otherwise you won't be climbing. Now the reason that the champion pick segment has been so much longer than any other is because it's so crucial for low elo to get higher, because there's so many low elo players where they'll have played 200-300 games in a season and then their highest played is only 30 or 40 games. Whilst you look at Diamond, Master, Challenger, they'll have played 200 games in a season and their highest played is 150 games. You need to be aiming just to stick to 1 or 2 of maybe 3 champions, or maybe 2 champions in a main role and then a main champion in your secondary role, just to make sure that you're comfortable with what you're doing in every single game. Now one last thing I just want to talk about just before I end this one, just because anything else will make this video way too long for everyone, is I just want to mention bans quickly, just because I see so many people where basically if you actually look into all the stats for everything, if you look at bronze and silver bans, someone like Yasuo is banned every game. Now if you mention that to someone who's in Diamond, Master, Challenger, that Yasuo is getting banned every single game in low elo, they will just laugh at you, because Yasuo is not that strong right now. Yes, he's okay in the bot lane, but like in anywhere else he's quite weak right now, and for him to have a 48% ban rate in low elo is ridiculous when he only has a, I think it's 2.3% ban rate in high elo, and that's only usually when people know that there's a Yasuo one trick on the opposition teams. So something like that is ridiculous. Your bans should be focused on there's one or two things, either something that's really strong right now, where if it's something that is absolutely ridiculously overpowered right now in that point in the meta, then yes, ban it. If not, then you should focus on banning something that you struggle against. You should focus on banning stuff that you're not comfortable against. So if you play ADC and you're fine in most matchups but you hate playing against Draven, and all the kind of major bans are gone, if you can, then just ban Draven. Just ban the stuff that you know that you have the worst win rate against. Even if you're playing your highest win rate champion, you're always losing against a certain champion, then just take that champion out, because it will already improve your chances of winning. Now a lot of League of Legends, like from my point of view, from a coaching point of view, is all about stats and statistics, where it's just, right, I have a 65% win rate on this champion at, like, say, ADC, but then when I'm paired with this support, then I have an 80% win rate. But then when I'm not playing against this certain ADC with this champion, I have a 70% win rate. If you combine all those together, you will have a very, very high combined win rate to then basically take into every single game. So you need to basically plan out your bans, plan out your picks, everything away from the game. Now if you notice during this video, all of the things I've mentioned are stuff that you do without even playing a game of League of Legends. League of Legends isn't just about playing as many games as possible and climbing, it is about spending a lot of time away from playing the game to improve how you play the game. So everything on this list, if you're not kind of going over your replays and trying to see what you're doing wrong, if you're not practicing your farming or your jungle routes, if you're not sort of planning out a champion pool way ahead of even the season, not ahead of the lobby, ahead of the season, if you're not planning out your bans ahead of going into the lobby or ahead of what the current meta is, if you're not making all these precautions before you're going into your games and before you're kind of trying to climb, then you will not climb. If you follow everything on here, you will already start to see a gradual improvement, and then you can start looking at stuff like mechanics and stuff like improving specifics. But first of all, you need to get your basics down and give yourself the best chance at winning before you're even going into a game. Once you're in the game, yes, focus on your teamfight mechanics, focus on your rotations and stuff like that. And if you want, I can make a video of what to do once you're actually in a game. But I feel like this stuff is way more important than any mechanics, than any sort of plays you can make in a game. If you can get your kind of basics down and your practicing down before anything else, then you will see a massive improvement ahead of anything else that you do. Now, if you do take the time out and do all these sort of basic stuff, then I will guarantee that you will be glorious. No, I won't give in, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend, and I'll do what I must. No, I won't give in, I won't give in, oh so glorious. Until the end, until the end. Now, I do want to end this video here, and I would like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then like it. If you think it was helpful, then do share it with anybody else that you think could benefit from it. And do subscribe down below if you do want to see any more content like this, where I talk about solo lanes, I talk about what you can do in-game, or I go over replays and stuff like that with people. Now, do let me know down in the comments what you would like me to show you next, and do remember to like the video as well. I will catch you all next time, and I hope you enjoy the video, and thanks for watching.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.